Hey everyone, my name's Thomas. I am one of the pastors here at Peninsula Grace, and I have the pleasure of sitting down today with Paul Peterson, who's one of our mission team's board members, and we are super excited to be together today interviewing Linda Flamm. She's been a faithful person here at Peninsula Grace for a long time. She serves at Arctic Barnabas, and I'm really excited to sit down today and talk with you, Linda, about what you do and how we can better support what you do over at Arctic Barnabas. So for those of the congregation that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, my name is Linda Flamm, and I have been a missionary in Alaska for over 30 years. Originally from Pennsylvania, I grew up there. When Dave and I married, we knew that God was calling us to ministry. We just didn't know where, and it ended up being Alaska. We worked in the Copper River Valley for almost 16 years when we felt like God was calling Dave into flying. And so he got his pilot's license, and we felt a strong calling to pastoral care. And that's when we found Arctic Barnabas.
Very good. Can you tell us a little bit about Arctic Barnabas and its ministry?
Sure, Arctic Barnabas exists to strengthen and encourage missionary and pastor families in remote Alaska. The uniqueness of that is that they're so remote that they're supporting churches. It's hard to get encouragement and it's hard to have fellowship with them. So, as a supported missionary staff at Arctic Barnabas, we have the opportunity to fellowship with them one on one. So, we call, we visit, we help with work projects, we do retreats. We have things that we do to encourage them so that they can proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ.
That's interesting because, that's what our mission team tries to do with their missionaries. Uh, and I know that Arctic Barnabas often refers to itself as missionaries to missionaries. So that's a pretty unique perspective. But along that line, I know that one of your chief involvement and endeavors is the family retreat that you provide for the remote missionaries. Can you tell us a little bit about your passion and the goals for that?
Yeah, it's actually our highlight of the year is our ministry family retreat. And it is where we take a week in October to bring pastors and missionary families out of remote Alaska to Victory Bible Camp for a week filled with quality teaching. Last year we had Dr. Del Tackett and support for the kids. We give them a date night. How many ministry families get a date night
Yeah.
in their village? We do haircuts, we do dental work, we have doctors come in. Everything that we can do to help support them that they don't get in the village in order that they will be able to get through another hard winter. So that's our goal is our ministry family retreat to be able to do that for them.
That's awesome. I know it's a super big need out there because when you're out there in the remote village, there's not a lot of people that can relieve you for a period of time. It's a hard work to be out there amongst a culture that may not be familiar, or if it is familiar, you're doing it alone. So having somebody come in, kind of give you a respite, little bit of a break to be together as a family, to love one another, and physical or spiritual healing that you guys brings super awesome. I think one thing that is really unique to you as a missionary in our church, as I mentioned before, you've been here for a number of years. How many years have you been down here? Do you remember? Do you know?
9 years.
9 years. And for those of you who don't know, your husband Dave passed away just a little over a year ago. My wife Melanie and I got the pleasure of being in a community group with you guys for a few months before his sickness started really ramping up, and you guys had to travel down to Seattle. But he was an elder at our church. You both serve on our missions board, and we're so grateful for your steadfast love for our community, but also for the Lord and what you do. And Paul, you were their missionary contact for a number of years and still are. What's your relationship and with them?
Well, I think when we had our summer mission luncheon, I went through that, but I was I received major blessings being involved with the Flamm family like I was. I was able to come alongside Dave and support physically in some ways, visit the hospital. watching them go through those trials and seeing their love and devotion and faith and courage really inspired me.
Yeah.
And I guess that would lead to a question. Because, Linda, we know how you pour yourself into other people, but I know that you've done this while you've faced family death, Dave's death, your daughter's surgery. I know that you're concerned with parental care down in Florida for your parents and just other life issues. Can you speak a little bit about how someone that's facing all that can also pour themselves on into other people?
Mhm. You know, I don't mean to be trite, but it's by God's grace. You know, in John 16, it says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart." Huge letters, take heart. I have overcome the world. That doesn't mean that we don't have troubles. That doesn't mean that they won't come. In fact, it says that it will. And how will we handle it? We can take heart because we don't have to go through it alone. I am not alone. I know that God is holding me in his hands. And because of that, I hope that I can pour into others. And that is my hope. And as long as God allows, I will do that. Um, if he will use me.
Yeah.
So I will continue.
Well, I can speak from experience that he's used you in my life. So I guess to move to a different area, not only are you in a unique uh, ministry where you're a missionary to missionaries, but you've also served on our mission team here at this church and supported the gamut of missionaries that we've been involved with. Uh, can you tell us about the perspective that that's given you?
It's wonderful because anytime you get to work in missions in any way, it broadens your world. And you get to see God's family at work in different places. And that is a beautiful thing. When Dave was ill in Seattle, we got to see God's family surround us from all over the United States, people that we didn't even know remembered us, and they did. And missions gives you that same opportunity. You get to see the hand of God reaching around the world through your own church. And it's a unique and beautiful thing.
Well, the same question from a different perspective, I guess, is I know how I benefited from being on the mission team and my relationship with you and some of the others that I've been key contact for. How do you see this experience that we've been able to share relate to others in the body? How would you encourage them to consider either serving with or serving on the mission team here at PGC?
I would love to see everybody take a turn working with the missions program. It will broaden your horizons. It will open your heart. It will expand your thinking on the way God looks at people. There's always somebody that needs to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. And you can do your part by being on the mission team without leaving your community. And it's a beautiful, beautiful part of God's family to be one of those stepping stones, be a missionary to a missionary by being on the mission team.
Amen.
How can we communicate better as a church? You mentioned that earlier, like there's the best kind of relationship is not just that you're giving information, but there's communication both ways. And I think that's what we strive to do with the connection with the individual mission team, relationships like Paul with you, but how can we as a church better communicate?
And I would say that Peninsula Grace does a good job.
Okay.
I love that you have contacts like Paul and Maggie are a part of my life, and they're a part of my kids' life. And I love that. And they like if I wasn't here every Sunday, they would be my door to this church.
Yeah.
And so I also have the unique perspective of JoJo Goodman is a dear, dear, dear friend of ours.
Yeah.
And so she will often say to me, "Oh, I talked to Elise today, blah, 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 blah," and I'm like, that is so cool because, like, when I talk to Paul and Maggie, I talk to Paul and Maggie as friends.
Yeah.
Yes, we sometimes do official ministry things, but I talk to them as friends, and they who happen to be on the mission board.
Yeah.
But it was encouraging to hear JoJo say, "Oh, I talked to Elise, and this is happening, and I think that when I come, we might be able to do this or whatever." So I think it's all about communication, and it's both directions. Don't ask, I would say, don't ask of a missionary anything you're not willing to do yourself.
Sure.
If you're going to ask them for a whole bunch of information, be willing to give that whole bunch of information back.
Yeah.
As in, I don't know that we do newsletters, but we have a website, and, check out this new posting on the website or whatever. Just keep in touch.
Yeah.
I think that's just really make them part of the family.
Cool. Something that we're trying to improve on, not just communicating to our body about you guys, but communicating with you, because it is a relationship. We want there to be not just a financial support of like, okay, yeah, we'll just send you a check every month. We want there to be a spiritual relationship where we send you prayer support, where we send you physical support, come visit you, or create like a respite for you to come back. That's, I think, really the heart of the missions team is to offer a more well-rounded, holistic support, not just financial or physical, mental, spiritual,
Yeah.
marriage, relational, like all that stuff.
None of our churches that supports us, years ago when we went back on furlough, basically said, "Look, you guys, we're giving you a week at this hotel, and we're watching your kids."
Mm.
Who does that? I mean,
Yeah,
it was
that's awesome.
amazing. It was like, and here's some material for your marriage. Not that we were having marriage troubles, but just
Sure.
to grow your relationship. They were involved in every facet of our lives. They wanted to make sure our kids were taken care of. They wanted to make sure that we were taken care of. They wanted to help us grow throughout that time. And that was really nice because, like, when missionaries come to visit churches, it is not a vacation. It
Yeah.
is work, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And for them to realize, yep, you have a lot of work going on, but we're going to give you this little dedicated time here so that you can breathe.
Mm.
That was really unique,
Yeah.
very special.
That is sweet. Because thinking about like some of our missionaries that go back on like furlough for the year, it's like, oh, they get a break from their missions. Like, no, actually, they're visiting the 60 some churches spread across their states that support them, and they're presenting every weekend. It's like, yeah, they might get a day off on the road trip to go see the Grand Canyon as they're going from Phoenix to wherever. But it's not rest. So creating those moments where they can experience that rest is, yeah, that's really cool.
I just see great strides in where you're involving the community,
Yeah.
our church. And that is so important because that's really the key is that when, he is the one that opens the doors for me,
Yeah.
that gets me to know this person and this person and this person and this person if I were not already a member.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basically that's the formula that you have. But when I would come back on furlough or to visit or something, he would be the person that would open the doors, not necessarily that he would do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, involving more people just brings more relationship.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah. And what a cool moment to like come back, somebody who's, not a member of regular attending PD, to come back and not just have that one Paul mission
Yeah.
section, be like, I know this person in the county and this person.
Yes.
And we all want to connect and see how they're going, because we connect maybe over Zoom or we see videos of each other, but like actually seeing each other in person, multiple people. Yeah, that's really our.
To be able to walk into a church and somebody come into you, up to you and say, how are you doing? Oh my word, I've been praying about,
Yes.
and that's just sort of like,
Yeah.
So
but
there's room for everybody to serve.
everyone, if we're part of God's family, it's a calling.
Mhm.
It's not a consideration.
Yeah. I love that call to our community. If you want to be involved in missions, be a missionary to a missionary. You don't have to be on the board to contact someone. So somebody who is in our congregation that wants to know more about you, where can they get information from you? Is there an email address, or besides the mission team, how can somebody pray and support you?
So my contact information is with the mission team. I think it's in the back of the sanctuary. Also, I would ask for prayer as I navigate a new normal.
Yeah. for sure.
I've lost my life partner,
Yeah.
and that is something to walk leaning hard on Christ. So I would ask for prayer for that. Our family has a wedding coming up, which is a wonderful thing. So our family's expanding in that. And then I would just also ask for prayer as our ministry grows and as we expand and as we look and seek God's face, to be what He wants us to be for the people that we serve.
Yeah.
So those would be what I would ask.
Awesome. Well, Linda, we love you. I know Paul and Maddie love you. The missions team is all for what you do over at Arctic Barnabas. So if there's one thing that I would encourage you with is, well done. You are doing a great job. Thank you for serving the Lord. Thank you for being a part of our community. And we're so excited to have this time to sit down with you and share it with our people.
Thank you.